In our first story, President John Mahama has resumed his campaign tour after days of break to attend to mourn late former Vice President Alhaji Aliyu Mahama. President Mahama has taken his campaign to the eastern region and intends to visit areas as Akosombo, Manyakrobo and Okere. On the campaign trail, President Mahama called on the electorate to reject the NPP for their lack of good policies and programs for the country. Joining us on the line now is our presidential correspondent, Seth Kwame Boateng. He's joining us from the eastern region. Hello, Seth.
Hello, good afternoon.
So where's the president at the moment?
Well, he just finished addressing students of the All Nations University here in Koforidua, where he told them that government will continue to partner the private universities so they succeed. He also says government has several plans for various private universities in the country. And here he mentioned that he has instructed those universities are added to institutions that will be supplied 400,000 laptops in the next 4 years. And he said Ghana is at a stage, a particular stage, and it needs a leader who can bring the nation together, because he says we have reached a stage where we need a leader like him who can fast track Ghana's transformation from lower middle income to full middle income. He has what it takes, according to him, to get Ghanaians to contribute to its quota to get to this level that he's talking about. As you mentioned, he has been to Akosombo, where he told the people that the NPP's policy on free SHS will fail, as it has failed in countries like Kenya and Uganda. He says now those countries are calling on international bodies for support, and he believes that if the NPP is allowed to come to power, their policy will fail, as it has happened in other countries. He also visited Okere, as you mentioned, and Asetewa and other communities. He scheduled to go to Chebi to meet the Chingme. From there, to move to Fantiakwa, Etua, and its surrounding villages.
Right, thank you very much, Seth. Seth Kwame Boateng is our presidential correspondent. He's currently on tour with President John Mahama as he resumes his campaign. Up ahead in the bulletin, you may have experienced stress, or perhaps not stress at all, but how do you deal with stress when you happen to find yourself in a stressful situation? That will be a Midday Wellness. You're watching the Midday Brief. The news: aggrieved members of the People's National Convention are calling on the party leadership and national executives to openly rebuke its flag bearer, Hassan Ayariga. Now, these members are worried his actions and inactions have put the party's fortunes in the next month's elections in great jeopardy.
The conference was to register the party's displeasure at its flag bearer's lack of commitment to the party's convictions. Members claim Hassan Ayariga's ideas and comments are contradictory to the ideals of the party.
I find it difficult to believe that the people of our party, our cherished delegates, will give him the mandate to lead the party again into an election come 2016. But for this election, certainly our candidate has turned himself into a comic relief, a political comic relief, really not doing what he must do to convince the ordinary people. And honestly, the height of my conviction was served yesterday at the IEA debate. I was more than convinced that Ayariga is a joke for the 2012 election, and for that matter, he can't lead the PNC into victory.
Aggrieved members are also unhappy about the flag bearer's relationship with aspiring members of parliament on the PNC's ticket.
Go around the country. Go around the constituencies. A party that wants to win an election, ask yourself, how well are we represented on the ground? If we are not represented on the ground based on posters and billboards, what are we doing as a party to make our candidate visible? Has our candidate been able to visit those areas? He's not present on the ground by billboards and posters? Certainly not. Let us be real to ourselves and let us understand. And gradually, Hassan is pushing certain ones of us from rethinking our political dreams, rethinking our political ideology.
The group is convinced that Hassan Ayariga has a hidden agenda that is tailored towards jeopardizing the party's fortunes.
Your colleague in opposition, who you are fighting with, you are joining forces to fight the government so that one of you will succeed and oust the government in office democratically. But you end up praising government, speaking a lot of good about government, saying that government's policies are inspiring, government policies are working, and for that matter, when you turn back, then now you come attacking the policies of an opposition party that seeks to win an election for the people of this country. You ask yourself, would Hassan Ayariga vote for himself on December 7th?
Not so long ago, some members of the party called on the flag bearer to render an unqualified apology to the hierarchy of the party for his unilateral decision to welcome late President Mills after his medical examination in the USA. Meanwhile, a member of the PNC Council of Elders, George Lurie, who spoke to us earlier on Top Story, says they will have a meeting this weekend on the development.
Now, the Ghana Center for Democratic Development is organizing a series of parliamentary debates for aspiring members of parliament across the country in collaboration with a coalition of domestic election observers. Now, today, one of such debates is to take place in Dansoman here in Accra. And we're joined on the phone line by Theodore Jeble, who is with CDD, to tell us more. Hello, Theodore.
Yes, hello.
Really, you've been out organizing the debates across the region. Tell me how it's been so far.
Well, so far it's been great. It's been marvelous. It's been beautiful. We've had most of the contestants, coming out to address the electorate, telling them about what plans, what strategies they have for the various constituencies. We've been to Adenta, we've been to Odududio, we have been to Tema West and Tema Central. We have been to Hohoe, we've been to Pasa, in the northern part of the Volta region.
Right.
So so far it's been great. It's been great. The response has been marvelous.
Now, there were instances where parliamentary candidates did not turn up for the debate. How did such occasions affect the debate?
The question is, the question again.
Well, I'm asking, there were instances where some of the parliamentary candidates did not turn up for the debate in a particular constituency. I'm asking how the outcome of the debate was affected by the absence.
Oh, not much. Just that it denied them the opportunity to market themselves to the electorate, to tell them the plans that they have. Don't forget that this platform is not. It is not forcing any candidate anywhere to take advantage of it, whether they like it or not. It is not a particularly compelling one where you are mandated to appear and make your views known. We offer it to the candidates when they think that it falls in line with what they are doing, when they think that they have issues they want to share, and if that works with their own plan and their own programs, they accept it. And don't forget that Ghana is a growing democracy, and some of these things will take time for them to mature. And so we try as much as possible to encourage as many aspirants to be there, as much as they can attend.
What then is the point of holding the debate? What do you hope to achieve at the end of the day?
Well, it's basically to allow the electorate to interrogate what plans and what programs the aspirants have. Democracy is supposed to be a marketplace of ideas where the best ideas win. And so having all the the aspiring parliamentarians on the same platform, where they air their views on the economy, where they air their views on governance, when they air their views on health and so on, will help the electorate make up their mind as to who is most competent to earn their vote. That has been the strategy.
Right. Thank you very much. Theodore Jeble is with Center for Democratic Development. Now the debate will take place live at in Dansoman, where parliamentary aspirants in this particular constituency are expected to converge at the venue and debate on issues that affect the constituent. My colleague Emmanuel Ante is at the venue of the debate, and he also joins us by telephone to tell us who is coming, who is not, what are the preparations. Hello, Emma.
Hello, Kamini.
Right, so tell us, who is coming for the debate today?
Well, today we have 4 aspirants here. We have the NDC aspirant, that is Victoria Hammer. And then we have Esla Wosu for the NPP. And then PNC Ninoy Sikain. And then Kojua Samoa for the NDP. And so far, it's been successful, I would say. But in the beginning, in the morning, before the program started, Victoria Hammer had a challenge with the NPP aspirant, who is Esla. And so she opted out of the competition. But at the beginning of the competition, during the first round, when the first questions were asked, she came back onto the set and then apologized and then continued with the program. And so far, I'll say that the whole thing is between the NPP and the NDC candidates, because they are the more eloquent ones on the platform, and they are the ones tackling the issues rather than the other two who are somehow beating around the bush, I'll say.
It isn't the first time Victoria Hammer, the NDC parliamentary candidate, has been put off by the NPP parliamentary candidate Esla Owusu. Tell me about the response from the electorates who were present at the debate when this happened.
Come again, Kamini.
I'm saying that it's not the first time Victoria and Esla have locked horns on a platform, and then Victoria has opted out of whatever it is that was going on. Tell me the response she got from the electorates.
Well, when she came back, the body language of especially Esla Owusu was somehow intimidating, I'll say, because she was so angry, I'll say. You can tell from her body language. And for the other candidates, they were okay. They were just sitting relaxed, and one was even talking to Victoria when she arrived.
Right.
And they were laughing it off. So I guess what I can say is that Esla was the one most affected by her return, and she sarcastically laughed it off somehow in a way.
Again, I would want to find out what was it that this time was able to take Victoria off the platform for a while. What was it that Esla said?
Come again.
I'm asking, what caused Victoria to opt out of the debate in the beginning?
Well, it is not that clear, because she said she had some concerns with Esla's competing on the platform, but we do not know the exact problem she had, and she never voiced it out to anyone yet, and so we are waiting. Probably after the program, she might
divulge that information. Right,
yeah.
Thank you very much. Emmanuel Ante is my colleague, and he is at the venue of the parliamentary candidates debate organized by CDD and Kodeyo in Dansoman for parliamentary candidates in that constituency. Moving on, it is estimated that over 6,000 hectares of the country's water bodies have been destroyed by water weeds, but of major concern to government and several communities dotted along the Volta Lake is the danger that these weeds pose to fishing, river transport and the generation of hydroelectric energy. Now, government has therefore acquired a 2.5 million African Development Bank loan to purchase 2 aquatic weed harvesters and 2 transport barges to clear water weeds that have taken over several portions of the Volta Lake.
From afar, these plants on the Volta Lake look very beautiful and can confuse the ordinary viewer as decorative ornaments on the lake. But that is not the case. These plants are very dangerous and are destroying the Volta Lake. In Ghana, the main kinds of water weeds include water hyacinth, water lettuce, and the cariba weeds. Water weeds are believed to be the major cause of bilharzia among residents living along the Volta Lake, since they harbor the snail that caused the disease. The weeds also trap the nets of fishermen, thus tearing them in the process and drastically reducing their catch. They are also believed to be responsible for reducing the volume of water in the lake, as one weed is said to consume over 200 gallons of water per day. Between 2006 and now, over 6,066 hectares of the country's river bodies have been destroyed by water weeds. Several efforts to destroy these plants, which include handpicking from the river, chemical and biological control, have proven futile, thus necessitating government to adopt alternative measures. Officials hope the procurement of the weed harvesters and the 2 transport barges will finally put to rest the challenges of dealing with waterways in the country.
The government of Ghana, through the Environmental Protection Agency, implemented the African Development Bank Finance Project, the integrated management of invasive aquatic weeds to control weeds in the Tano and Volta River systems, with a loan of $2.5 million.
Representative of the African Development Bank, Marie-Laurie Akin-Olugbade, the partner organization funding the procurement of the weed harvesters, said the bank has trained over 50% of women to be part of the maintenance team of the project. Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, Sherry Aite, explained how the ministry and other stakeholders will maintain the equipment to prevent breakdowns.
We've trained both the local people, and then we have a technical team who manage the maintenance. So everything has been put in place to ensure that the program is sustainable.
She later requested for an additional 2 weed harvesters from the bank to boost the exercise.
Away from the Volta Lake, the Ghana Institute of Engineers has inducted new members into the institute. Now, out of the 100 members, 75 of the candidates made it through the examination and were sworn in according to Article 5, Clause 7, Clause 11 of the institution's constitution.
Since 1975, the Ghana Institute of Engineers has instituted a code of ethics to regulate engineering practice. According to Engineer Albert Ojiri, immediate past president of the institution, recent development in the engineering sector, especially in the Malcolm Shopping Complex collapse, are strong reminders to engineers to adhere strictly to the ethics of the profession.
Hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the general public, and comply with the principles of sustainable development in the performance of your professional duties. Act in professional matters for every employer or client as a faithful agent or trustee, and avoid conflict of interest.
He urged the new candidate to take up their profession and deliver productively.
Fellow engineers, this is our responsibility to make life better for our people. We no more can put the blame on the politician. The politicians don't design engineering infrastructure. They don't supervise construction. We do.
Joy News spoke with some of the award winners.
It hasn't been easy at all. I had this inspiration and encouragement from my father. He's an engineer, my brothers are engineers. So maybe I come from a family of a lot of engineers. So I just got my experiences and inspirations from them.
I love engineering. Chemical engineering is one of the best engineering backgrounds you can ever have. I think it's a good way of actually getting to help the industry, getting to help Ghana as an industry and as a developing nation. We have an oil and gas company all over Ghana at the moment, so we need engineers in this section to be able to help.
Ghana Institute of Engineers has renewed its vision of promoting engineering excellence for society.
You're still watching the Midday Brief, and the Commission of Inquiry established by the President to inquire into the judgment, debt payments and other related matters will start sitting on Wednesday, November 28. The public sittings will take place at the conference room of the Old Parliament House building here in Accra, opposite the Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum. The first sitting will be live via GBC television.
The Commission of Inquiry was established by Constitutional Instrument 79 of 2012, which was gazetted on October 8. It has a period of 1 year to submit its reports to the Presidency. The public sittings will begin at 10 a.m. and close at 4 p.m. each day, subject to variation on Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Thursdays and Fridays will be devoted to administrative work. Members of the public who wish to testify or volunteer information to the Commission are first required to report at the Commission's office to give their statements. The Commission will then schedule a date for such witnesses to testify or give evidence. The Commission's office is opened to the public from Monday to Friday of every week from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. All those who intend to testify or volunteer information but are unable to be present or in person are requested to submit memoranda to the Commission. Such memoranda shall be treated confidential. All correspondence must be addressed to the sole Commissioner, Commission on Judgment Debt, Old Parliament House, care of P.O. Box 119 Accra. Such correspondence should be submitted personally to the Secretary to the Commissioner at the Old Parliament House or posted by EMS. The sole Commissioner of the Commission is Justice Yao Appel, a Justice of the Court of Appeal. The Commission has Dometi Kofi Sakpo as counsel, who will be assisted by Kwabna Owusu-Mensah.
Believe me when I say the bills won't stop coming and there will never be more hours in the day, and your career and family responsibilities will always be demanding. It may seem that there's nothing you can do about your stress, but you have more control than you might think. In fact, the simple realization that you are in control of your life is the foundation of stress management.
Managing stress is all about taking charge of your thoughts, emotions, schedule, and the way you deal with problems. Stress management starts with identifying the sources of stress in your life. This isn't as easy as it sounds. Your true sources of stress aren't always obvious, and it's all too easy to overlook your own stress-inducing thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Sure, you may know that you're constantly worried about work deadlines, but maybe it's your procrastination rather than the actual job demands that leads to deadline stress. To identify your true sources of stress, look closely at your habits, attitudes, and excuses. Do you explain away stress as temporary, or you define stress as an integral part of your work or home life, or as part of your personality? Do you blame your stress on other people or outside events, or view it as entirely normal and unexceptional? Until you accept responsibility for the role you play in creating or maintaining it, your stress level will remain outside your control.
The Midday Brief, and a member of the Kumasi Traditional Council, Nana Nkansa Bwedu Ayebwafo, has petitioned the Inspector General of Police to investigate circumstances under which one Iyao Chumesi Ankra secured an order from the Accra Community Magistrate Court to remand him in custody. Nana Ayebwafo, who is the chief of Nzema in Kumasi, an owner of the building that housed the Malcolm Shopping Mall at Achimota, and the Municipal Head of Works Department of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, Carl Henry Clark, were on November 8, 2012 remanded in custody by the court in connection with the collapse of the Malcolm building. In his petition, Nana Ayebwafo said Chumesi Ankra, who is not a lawyer, misrepresented himself as the legal officer and chief prosecutor of the AMA, not only to ensure that he was remanded, but also secure an order to prevent him and his family from entering their house. According to the petition, which was copied to the Director of Bureau of National Investigations and the Chairman of the General Legal Council, Chumesi Ankra had confessed on an Accra-based radio station on November 10 and 12. Moving on with other stories, a Scottish trade mission is in the country to help grow Ghana's oil and gas sector. With over 40 years of experience, Lena Wilson, Chief Executive Officer of the Scottish enterprise, said Scotland has a lot to offer. The team will leave the country later today, hopefully to come back to partner local companies in growing the oil and gas sector. Highlights of My Business 2012 is next.
To start it off in a big way and get there very, very soon.
In second place with 14 out of 20.
And before that is done, may I respectfully invite Mr. Mike Kobner to join for that presentation.
In second place with 14 points, Miss Kezia Gladys.
Please, let's hear it for Kezia. Before the presentation to our winner, I'll invite Eunice once again, Eunice Obugo, to join us. Remember, it's 30,000 Ghana cedis, and of course we have 3 strong people. 10,000 has gone so far, and now the last announcement.
In the first place, with 15.5 out of 20 points, please welcome Solomon Lati Wekema.
Let's hear it, ladies and gentlemen. He does deserve it. Please put your hands together for him. Congratulations, Solomon. Congratulations.
Very proud of you. Well done. Okay.
Congratulations. Please put your hands together for Solomon. Solomon, please don't go too far away. We want you to say a few words.
And I did say at the beginning that we had a tie in third place. The tie was between Dr. Gameli and Cephas Tokono. MTN Foundation is considering, and we strongly urge them to do this, that there will be a special arrangement with Cephas in order to support his foundation and to keep his system also running. So ladies and gentlemen, please, a big round of applause for Cephas Tokono. And I will say very clearly here that we did not do this because Cephas has a handicap. It had nothing to do with it. The scores were done completely independently. It came out that way. And I think that as a special arrangement, this is something that the foundation could do and they would like to do. And MTN have already hinted that he will discuss it with the foundation board, and they will consider how they can do something from their own separate and different foundations. So thank you all very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll say thank you to our 2 judges and also to our distinguished guests up here who joined us for the presentations. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for all of them.
All right, so Showbiz Brief is next, after which Araba brings you your election headquarters. But I'll see you on Monday.
Sofubi na nunia. Moha yeri hey sofubi na nunia. Eri beni Mrs. Sofubi na nunia. Hey moha yeri hey sofubi na nunia. Eri beni semi humwa na mega semi humwa na mebuafu efisa momotuamu na afu nintira. Mrs. Sami woman megay semi woman na mebuafu efisa momotuamu na ebon nintira. Na mesenia ni hey efu na misro no asofu enia mu hey efu na misro bo eti sofu na nunu yen ebe mu ha yewi hey sofu bi
Okay.